the ozone depletion and everything else, 1990...
coming out of the...
Forget that. Forget it. 1990 flaming 2, the government scared the world. Don't start it. The government's, just for an idea, the government's scared the world by saying about the ozone depletion over the poles, and all the water in the world is rising because the ice is melting and everything else. And what would happen in Venice, because Venice is a floating city and everything else with water, that all the first floors and everything else will be all underwater and everything else. Do you know what happened in 1992? Lowest recorded water in all of history in Venice. So then the scientists said, where's your bullshit? And they said, well, the ozone holes and everything else are further out in space. There's only one problem with that. There's no flipping ozone further out in space. They lied to you.
Yes.
But everybody was behind it, saying about the depletion of the ozone and the earth warming up and melting and burning and stuff. All over shit. Okay,
And Y2K. Yeah, but I don't know what I'm looking at anyway, so...
Yeah, that's... This is not really the right kind of battery because it hadn't got the pinholes in it to do what we want. But that thing in here has hydrogen and oxygen gas, and you realise that that's a battery. Okay?
Yeah, it is a battery.
And if you go in there and get a match, I'm going to be at the other end of the yard, but if you go and get a match and you put over that now, I'll guarantee there's enough gas in there to blow that battery. Right now. And if you go and get a spark, you cross a wire off there to there and arc it over there, I'll bet you that battery's going to blow.
Oh, if you go from positive to earth or positive to negative.
It'll blow.
Yeah,
okay.
That's right.
All right.
I've seen that happen.
People are saying that
it even welds whatever you've got across the terminals.
Yeah, this is wicked. All right. This is not a good one because I can't get anything in there to show you. They don't move back.
I've got a lot of tools in the back.
Give me something that'll poke into there as a normal piece of metal. It's without any insulation on the end.
Just a bolt or something?
Yeah, just a small thin bolt or a screwdriver without the insulation, or a piece of wire that'll push in.
Okay, we're just here. We're going to do a demonstration with the spark plug lead. Go into the battery terminal and have a bit of a play with some oxygen and hydrogen and do some little demonstrations. So it's enjoy.
You get there yet? Is that electrical what?
That's Joe.
Yeah, they like to try in public. Did you cut it or not?
No, it's a pincher.
No, when it can't seem to touch it.
That's it.
Yeah, but that's old.
There's no teeth in it.
You can cut it with one of those things.
Okay. Now, so start your gun. Radiator hoses are insulators. If I run electricity, AC or DC through them and hang on to it, I don't get kicked. Okay? They're not conductors. Don't run over us. Start the car. So this this here should not conduct through that rubber. It's not a piece of metal. Why is it actually going into that radiator hose?
Wow, what a big spot.
Dad, if we put AC or DC into it, right? Right. You right? That's right. See these?
Okay.
That's a piece of insulation rubber.
Yep.
Well, it's a conductor. It's a radiator that's conducting. You understand? That one's not. And that one is. That's the air intake. Now if this was positive, you're the electrician, if this was a positive charge in here, we got positive and negative at the battery. Which one would it go to and which one wouldn't it go to?
Okay, that one there, we're looking at about 40,000 volts coming out of the coil.
Too bad, I don't care about that. Which one would it go to?
Go to both.
It'll go to both,
Why?
basically, because of the differences. There's big difference in potential.
Attracted to the positive, right? Not the potential. Attracted to negative. And it's attracted straight down into that battery that didn't go into the bank.
How close is showing going to that?
I got the...
The battery didn't go bank. It just went down into it. That is hydrogen, oxygen gas, the fuel cell, the hydrogen. It's attracted in. Attraction is not repulsion and explosion. It's attracted in and actually makes gas.
There you go.
You were trying to take hydrogen and oxygen gas or hydrogen gas and put it into an engine of a car and make that spark fire it. That won't detonate it.
Do I do that again, Joe, just so you can see it in there? Look at it going in. Look at the spark going in there.
You're okay? Bang! It goes to things it shouldn't go to, alright? It's going to bits and pieces of stuff which it should not attract to because they're insulated. Okay? That hasn't got any positive or negative charge to it. Okay? But your insulator and conductor, insulator for AC, your insulator for AC and DC electricity, right, is supposed to be an insulator, which means that wouldn't take place. But that spark coming out of that wire going into those spark plugs comes from what you would call comes directly from a Tesla coil. Okay?
I'm not sure about the air intake, but I know that with some rubbers, if you get the multimeter probes and you put them at a certain point, it'll show you like a resistance.
Well, I'll guarantee that one won't, and that one won't, and that one won't. And if I put any electricity in the inside of that, I can do 66,000 volts up there, and I can just slip that straight over those wires and hang on to it. No AC or DC is going to come through that and bite me. Okay? It's 100% insulated. But there's a conductor. Anybody had fun with these cells by putting what you called Joe cells? Anybody had fun putting all these insulators in between those plates? With plain straight water? What happens?
Yeah,
It flipping eats them. It shorts out the plates. They're not neutral plates or anything. It dead shorts a lot, the same as that, because they're conductors and it shouldn't be, but it is because of this frequency alignment, because
so
of stuff.
Yeah. So what about ceramics and that sort of stuff?
Use are all play with that stuff. Doesn't work.
Glass.
Doesn't work. Eats it. Glass is silicon. Pulls all the silicon out of the glass. You know that. You asked me that before.
But you did a lot of work with glass jars.
Glass jar is on the outside.
It's got to be the right glass too.
Glass jar was not in between.
Yeah, cool. So you can get it quite close.
We tried Indian flame and timber. We tried Australian timbers. We tried everything else. We tried rubbers, insulators, natural rubber, flame and synthetics. All your all these different things. You've just set up a new alignment to run electricity a different way than what your insulators and your conductors were made for. That's all it is. It's just this electricity is flowing a different way and it doesn't even recognise these as being insulators or conductors. That's all it is. And it eats them. Goes through them. That there is an insulator. Why did that go into that?
I thought it would have been because of the water inside. It is.
Didn't it? Could be.
But you did it with the air.
Yeah? What do you think air is? H2O?
No, it's alright. But the content of water, I was thinking water, that would be attracted to water. But the content of moisture in the air is not as, is not the same than water.
See, this is a weird thing too. Just a second. If we, do you know what spark plugs do? You don't do this. I'm not going to do too many experiments or anything else, but if I put my finger anywhere near that, it's going to bite the clappers out of me, isn't it?
Mm.
Okay, start. Stay where you are. Why aren't I getting kicked and why aren't you getting kicked?
Most probably because of the paint.
And I put it directly straight on. No, not the paint here. The rear metal. Go. Stand on there. Why aren't you getting kicked? Now, do it again. Why aren't you getting kicked?
I don't know.
Anywhere off that wire there, anywhere. You pull another wire off, another wire, and it'll beat the clappers out of you. That is going directly to a piece of metal. You don't get kicked. I put it straight on. You don't get kicked.
So, but
There,
if it goes straight
it's
to
going
you,
into there. Put your hand on. See if you get kicked. You get nothing. You understand? It's not a conductor. Put your hand on the rubber. Put your hand on the car. Why aren't you getting kicked?
what?
I didn't ask this. I didn't give the answers. I give the question.
That's not good enough.
what?
What's the answer?
What's the problem? No end. Can you put your finger there, please?
You put your finger in.
Is it because the car's not earth?
Huh? The car's sticking there to take your ground. That's a piece of rubber. That's a piece of rubber. Nothing's changing in the picture you made it, so we're not changing the frequencies or anything else that's made it. And we put our hands on everything. We take that, there's nothing in it. Would you like just stay with me? Yeah? Cool. What? It's a flipping insulator.
I know. Oh,
What?
a little bit of a jilt like down there, right? Check it out.
Would you like to just would you like to go around the side of that car and touch your knee on the car while you do that? Touch your knee.
It's doing it to me now. I just felt it before.
Well, that's a shorter path to Earth.
You said there's no current flow. What are you doing? What are you doing? It doesn't bite.
Oh, it's got a bit.
Hey, look. It doesn't bite.
It's right, yeah.
The breakdown in that insulation.
Yeah.
So if you touch it, it's going through your fingers.
There's no breakdown in that.
There's a very high resistance.
10 colours.
Got me.
That's not. That's a new one. That there, it's got silicon on the inside, which is from sand and salt and glass.
They're very
Same
good
thing.
quality, those ones.
Yeah, they're very good quality. It wasn't run up the sides. That damn thing there was going directly straight through, the same as that. One way it does and one way it doesn't. You say it doesn't bite you because there's no current. Well, what'd you get bit by? You don't know. Same way as anything else, straight through the lead.
Yeah.
Doing virtually the same thing as what I was doing and he was doing, touching the metal. It didn't bite him. He didn't feel a damn thing one way, did you? Another way you did.
Yep.
And then he don't feel nothing, but then one way you did it here, he was getting kicked too.
When you touched that with the hand, I got a kick here.
Really?
I don't know why.
Yes. It's changed. Completely changed. The what comes out, just for your information, what comes out of a Tesla coil, the stuff coming down to these leads is forming a AC 90-degree spike with no positive or negative charge on it. It's zero. It's not
output,
positive, it's not negative. Yeah, it doesn't
the output
even
is out of phase with the
It's
primary.
90 degrees.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a 90-degree spike. It's got nothing to do with the positive or the it's got nothing to do with the positive or the negative going into the coil. It's a 90-degree spike. It's a new electricity. It's a new energy, and you don't even use up any of the positive or negative to create it. It's coming out from a new source, and it doesn't. The battery to positive and negative does not give any electricity to make that. That is a flaming 90-degree spike, and it's a new energy coming from neither of those sources. It's a combination of those being put together and running past each other. It ends up with a new one that way at 90 degrees and doesn't use one drop of either of them. Do you understand? You do?
It's sort of
It doesn't carry a charge.
it's just like a high voltage potential, mostly.
High voltage, but no amps.
Yeah.
Fool.
Yeah.
Well, that's what
Well, there's the spike. There's sort of the current sort of
is. It's
the current's just in that one.
Well, where did he just doing the same thing and nothing changed there? No amps, he doesn't get kicked. I just hand it to him and everything else.
The
Where
timing.
did the amps then come from? Because nothing changed at the spark and nothing changed at the coil and nothing changed in the engine, but him and he are all getting kicked now. Where's that amps going? And what are new energy that you're not using in the car? And one way you do it that now it does kick them, because that going into there doesn't have any amp flow, does it?
Very little.
Very little.
Well,
Was that
yeah,
only-
whatever
I'll bet you-
the energy that's there, it's sort of based on like a time thing. So it's like, bang, and then on. I think that's my understanding.
Where'd you learn that? Out of a book?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Doesn't apply. The book says that spark should blow that flaming gas. Nobody knew that hydrogen gas that they're going to stick into an engine will not be lit by that kind of spark. And if you do put under compression, you put hydrogen, oxygen under compression or hydrogen in there, and the air goes through anyway as well, it turns back into liquid water, and that doesn't burn. It's a liquid. Petrol doesn't burn as a liquid. Water doesn't burn as a liquid. Alcohol doesn't burn as a liquid. Nothing burns as a liquid that way. And that's what happens when no compression. So what's the good of putting hydrogen into an engine? That's a fallacy.
When hydrogen and oxygen turn back into water, it's an inflow, not explode. Because the gas turning into water.
Funny, isn't it? Just the concept of what I was saying, Alfie, you know, that what man's telling you, and you want to get up and argue,
Get this, what he's saying.
you want to start producing it and everything else, right? Like electricity. You don't use one for the flame and, what do you call them, what comes off the atom and everything else to make your electricity?
Electrons.
Load of rubbish. You don't split one electron off. The amount of trillions and trillions of electrons just in this wire out here, you split them off the atom, you change the whole flame creation. You change it, you're splitting the atoms. You're buggering up, you're changing and altering the structure of the atom. What if I change one atom in your body? Just one. You think the rest of you is not going to change? It sets off a chain reaction. Fooey it is. It's all rubbish. Right? We had those little egg-shaped magnets here. Would have spun them out. Did I show you them last time?
Which magnets?
The egg-shaped ones. Let's go back in. That's enough of that rubbish. But I can show you 101 things like that, right?
That water?
What water?
Well, I'm saying it can be some water thing.
They wanted to burn something.
Yeah, got any that burning water effect? It changed the atomic structure of the water to release its hydrogen?
The negative stuff was used up at Sol's place last time, the last drop. And the positive stuff, I've had about 10 other people coming through with what we had of that and everything else. And we used a whole lot up. When was it? Only last week? No, last time you were down here we burnt the table in there, wasn't it?
Yeah, about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
3 or 4 weeks ago, and that was the last of every bit of that water that I ever produced, because I don't even have to sell myself to make any more.
Yep.
Right? But Sol's tasted and drank it, and all these other fellas, and how many more experiments or how many other people do you have to have without believing it? Unless
I don't have to believe it, I just think it's good for you.
Yeah. The only thing I got is silver.
I just thought it'd be pretty cool to see.
Sol, he makes them now. He sells them.
No,
Or he gives them away.
I gave one away in Africa. They said it cured people of illness.
There you go. Did you come with him? You can make it so the device for the cure.
Yeah.
When you walk in, you go, what?
Technically, there's nothing wrong with the chair. Why?
Technically.
Well, unless you're talking on some more sort of profound level. All that stuff that we've got, the chair says that what you're saying, infallibility and probability.
That's why all your insulators in these cells are not insulators, they're conductors. That's why you can't use them, because these cells are not standard electrical generating cells. Okay, they set up a new energy in a new way, and they change the angle of everything that what moves or flows or whatever you call electricity, and so on. And everything that you put in front of it, like insulators, it eats it. It shorts out through it. You can't contain it. You're in water inside that radiator hose, like the other mate was thinking that there is water in there. Maybe that's why it's going through the rubber. But the rubber's supposed to be an insulator. That means it won't go through the rubber and into the water, because the water's on the other side. But then it goes through everything. And you put any of these materials, what you all think is because you're putting so-called a standard electricity to the cell's plates have been lined up to change it.
Right, okay.
To change it. And then you go and put these pieces of rubber like that radiator hose fair in between your plates, which has changed the electricity. It's not AC and it's not DC. And it doesn't flow in any way, shape or form, doesn't even comply to any shape or form of what you're doing with electricity that you made those things for. All insulators are conductors. An insulator is only a piece of something in its atomic alignment which has been lined up so that the electricity won't actually attract to it and jump out through it. It actually runs with it. And it acts like that. But if you turn the electricity around a different way, that's a conductor, straight through. And see, this is what's happened with what these things are that you're putting into cells. The cell sets up a frequency. The frequency doesn't comply to your flame electricity. The electricity being generated or whatever else is now going through that cell, if you said it's going through, is not standard electricity. So your standard insulators don't comply. So it gets in the road and it flipping shorts them out or eats them. So all these people are going out there, we're trying to find a better insulator. But you're trying to find a better insulator for AC and DC electricity, which is the only known source.
Yep.
And AC and DC electricity is only a positive and a negative, isn't it?
Mm.
And a positive and negative is only a north pole and a south pole.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't got one here to blow your mind, because the government don't want you to know some things. So what they do is they take all the things that they don't want you to know, and they give it to kids. Toys for kids. Right? See,
what kind of logic is that?
metal. Well, that's pretty good logic.
Why would they do that?
Well, see, the first thing is they found...
Why give it to kids in the first place?
Emoto found out that water has a memory.
Yeah.
And you can program water and you can put a memory into water and it'll reproduce it and do everything else. And you can lie to it and it'll stuff up on you and you can tell the truth to it and it'll go good for you and so on. Then they found out that they can... Well, they applied this technology to scientists and everything else and they said, well, look, all these people are having accidents in cars and we're limited on material. Instead of recycling and throwing away cars, we're going to build a car out of something which, if you prang into it and it dents it, right, this is plastic or, perspex or what's the other, fiberglass or metal, they found out that they can have memories. Okay, so if it had a memory of the shape of the car that you had it in, and you go out there and run into somebody else and change that shape, all they do is run it into a warmer, a chiller, or some other thing. They put warmth to it, or run your hand over it and put a frequency onto it, and the flipping thing takes all the dent out and your car's fixed. There's no repairs. Okay, so that's what they thought they were going to do with it. What do they do with it now? No cars, because that'll take away our money. Not going to put it on the cars. So they go and make kids' toys. So you ever heard of it? You go down to any of the cheap kids' toy stuff and everything, and you can buy a piece of plastic stuff or a piece of metal and everything else, and it's in one shape when you buy it, and it's told you on the paper that you can form it into another shape. And then if you want the first shape back again, you just take it and put it either in the fridge, or go and put it in the oven, or go and put it near...
Oh, yep.
You understand now?
Yeah.
Or go and hold it in your hands and warm it up, and what's it do? It was in another shape, now it went back to the original one.
Yeah.
Because it's got the memory. That's metals and plastics and all your minerals and everything. Water does the same.
That sounds like the hand of God if I ever heard of it. What better way to prepare people for something that's going to blow
So
their mind?
but their biggest idea and everything
So the
else.
kids grow up going, oh, there's nothing weird about a car that you just warm it
And
up.
what can they get? No, it's not
Perfect
just one.
training.
They can take that one piece of thing and form it about 100 times into 100 different sort of designs.
Perfect.
And that damn thing for everything else will come back through every one of those designs and remember it. That's why they said they're going to put it on the cars. So you've got a car shape and everything else, you go out there, you prang it, all you do is bring it back in, put the memory in, your car's back into its original shape. No panel beaters, no spray painters, no flaming dents, no nothing. Sorry, takes away our money. Let's go and use all that fantastic, godly flaming technology and give it to kids' toys.
Do you think technology can be godly?
Not at all. Not at all.
Because you just said it.
No, I didn't.
No,
you
said all
said God. That sounds godly.
No, you said fantastic godly
I
technology.
only said godly to that because you said that sounds like godly.
It does. I mean,
Well,
like
that's
giving it to
technology.
kids.
That's the
Maybe that's the
technology
kids'
advancement. You put God to it, so I applied it back.
It sounds like these guys in cartels, they know that they could use something, but it takes away their money. They'll still try and get revenue out of it, but in kids' toy.
You're not going to give it to you.
Yeah.
Same as Tesla. You had all this electricity. Bugger yous. You ain't getting it. You don't even know what Tesla done to this very day because they took away nearly all the information and then they give you false information. Right? Tesla stuff still hadn't been figured out to today. Weirdest thing is, even to your mind, is pumping water. You don't pump water by putting a flaming thing across the water hole. That blocks it. Well, Tesla found the highest, fastest, highest pressured water pump in the world is what? It's a Tesla pump. And the Tesla pump is a flaming dish running straight across the water and stopping the flow from going that way. Turns it that way, and that's the highest pressured pump there is in the world. But your logical mind says, no, that will slow it down. But it doesn't. It makes it the highest pressured forward pump that there is. Going 90 degrees across creates the flaming fastest forward.
The flow in that direction. You mean going in that direction creates the flow that way?
That's it. Check out a Tesla turbine flaming pumps. You can pull them up on the internet and everything. Flipping field goes directly 90 degrees across. It's the highest pressured pump straight forward that you got. And you think, oh no. The technology hasn't been taught us right, you know what I mean? But Tesla, forget Tesla on that. That's silly stuff. But Tesla didn't want to give you ozone because it creates cancers And you know, and every single device that you got doesn't run on AC. You've got to convert it back. Right? Where's your converter in a jug?
There is none, it's just a resistive load.
A what?
It's just a resistive load,
What
so
does resistive load mean?
it'll take either AC or DC.
A jug.
No, a jug would take only AC, wouldn't it? It's a resistance.
The jug
It's just a
element,
resistive load, so you just need you can put a DC voltage in or an equivalent AC voltage, RMS.
The jug element, if you grab two wires or straight wire and everything else and you put them into water and so on, turn it on, you won't put your hand in there. It'll grab you and kill you. Is that not right?
If you put your hands onto the 240 volt
Into the water.
into the
While
water,
it's boiling, yeah.
You
No,
got the
'cause the-
electricity AC going into water, you touch that water, it grabs you and you're dead.
Yeah.
no, because the current's passing through the resistive element.
In a jug, what they've got is you're taking the AC, your positive and your negative AC, and they've got a coil in the bottom. As soon as you turn your AC from what it's doing around a coil and everything, this is all Tesla's technology.
Mm.
Coils, transformers, starter motors, solenoids, motors, everything else all comes back to rotating into a coil effect your electricity. If you change the angle of it to a different angle, it doesn't do what it originally did. In the jug element for boiling water and everything else, you just put your AC in and everything else, and then because it's in a coil and so on, as long as it turns once around, you can put your hand in that water with that electricity and you don't get bit. It doesn't bite you. It just doesn't bite you. It boils the water. But you go and put AC into water with the leech, you can't boil water. You go and put AC in that TV, you can't turn that TV on. It has to convert back to DC before it comes on. That light bulb, that's not a light bulb, that's gas, fluorescent. But a normal light bulb, at the actual, in the light bulb itself, you got AC coming to it, okay, and that coil turns that back to DC at the coil before the light comes on, because running AC through the wires won't turn the light bulb on. Turning it. This is where your transformers and we call them, what's the other things? Transformers and regulators and everything else come into effect. If you've got AC, you just run it through a coil, you can get DC. You got DC, you run it through a coil, you can get AC as long as you change it, you know what I mean? You can pulse it, but you can just get it. It's converting it through this winding, and that's all they're doing in those things. That's what the light comes on for, because this went around a wire, went around a coil. Right? Tesla used the car coil, what you got out there and everything else. He runs two coils, one within the other, past each other, and they just go back up. So in a car, it converts it. You can't take... In the early cars, they put the positive comes into your coil and they say, we're not using that one. Okay? We're not using it. We're using the negative by breaking the points and that on the negative side. Do you understand? Mm. So that pulses that, but the negative goes through the coil and comes out the other side of the coil, positive, and goes back up the positive wire. It doesn't keep coming out negative. It changed it from negative to positive. The positive comes into the coil, as a positive. It goes around a coil, then comes out negative and goes down to ground. Mm-hmm. It changed it because of the coil. You understand? Okay. Commodores, Ford's used it for a while, but Commodores use something called waste spark management. You break that all down and what you find is that they are actually pulsing the positive side too. So they've got a car which is a V6 or a V8, but the V6 is a 350 Chev motor with two cylinders missing. The 350 Chev motor will get somewhere around about 15, 18 miles per gallon. You put a bigger carburetor on, it gets down to 7 miles per gallon. Right? And it sounds like a V8. So they just cut two cylinders off it and so on. And what happens with the computer and everything else, what they're using to split your charges, they're firing the negative into the compression chamber and exploding all the gases to give you explosion. They're using the positive, they're pulsing it, they're firing it at exactly the same time, 6 degrees before top dead centre, into the exhaust. The exhaust valve's open and everything else, and what does it do? Positive fired into the exhaust goes and pulls the piston up. So your motor runs really smooth and everything else. They call it waste spark. Instead of taking the positive through the coil and taking it to ground, they then pulse it too. So you've got two pulses going on.
One top, one at the bottom.
No, both at the top.
Oh, near the... Oh, I see what you mean.
One
Yes,
cylinder
yes.
is on compression, the other's on exhaust. And at 6 degrees before top, they fire the both. The compression one explodes. The flame and exhaust one implodes and pulls the piston. Your motor runs smooth. That gives you 38 to 40 miles per gallon. You can go into the computer, nip the wire, which is giving you the pulse to the flame and the positive side to the exhaust, and your motor runs a bit rougher, still goes, okay, but you now, still get the same speed and everything else, but your motor now gives you somewhere around about 22 or something miles per gallon.
So it gives you 30%.
Plus horsepower, plus smooth motor, because you're actually assisting yourself. Do you understand? And you'll get, by just using the negative side, you get more gas pollutant out the back. What's happening with the positive, it's actually pulling some of it back together and taking it away as a unsafe pollutant. The electrical frequency charge is doing like your tree a little bit. Your tree takes all your pollutants. Electrical frequency charge swaps it back over into air that you can breathe, makes it safe again. Okay? And they use a very small amount of voltage to do that, the tree, the plant, the grass, everything else, God's way. Okay? But in the car, that's what's taking place too. You don't get as many pollutants out the arse in. But you get assistance in power, you get assistance in economy, and everything else. What's making your car go? And all they've done is just use the other side of the coil, a Tesla coil. You know, the two fields. Because they both flow at the same time. Okay? There's, anyway. Now, this, if we, just for an idea of this, I'm not going to go too far on this because I wasn't teaching you. You're supposed to come down me here, so I was saying, you're going to tell me about frequencies. You believe in it, tell me. I wasn't teaching you. This is not a lesson as such. If we have that and we magnetise it, we can magnetise it with a, what? AC electrical wire? Or a DC?
You can use DC.
We wrap it around one way and a certain way, hook it up to the battery in the car, and hook one end. This is a very interesting thing. I thought hooking a straight wire up to a battery was a dead short between positive and negative.
Just a wire on its own, yeah. But when you've got a
Forget the piece of metal now. How do you stop the dead short between positive and negative in a battery with one piece of wire?
Coils.
I got a sort of
You coil the thing.
yeah.
And the more
that
coils
gives
you
you the
put into
resistance.
Builds up the magnetic field, and whatever's left is the impedance of the
He's read
coil.
too many strange books.
Yeah.
It's called tape.
Yep. Unfortunately, I've been.
What are you doing here? You've come here to play and listen and learn about alternatives, and all you're doing is bringing out stock standard technology which doesn't even comply to this stuff.
Well, I suppose it's a good training ground to know what not to look. Not long ago, I went through a strange period of my life where I realized that I've been lied upon all of my life.
Yes.
So he's going to have to learn that way. You know, I went to school too. I did all the technological bullshit and then started scratching my head.
In the centre, this can't happen. That's why Joe should have the right to be able to drive his own cars around his own cell without all the bullshit that comes with it. He knows obviously more than the establishment. Yet why should he serve them when he is their master?
That's it.
Why you got the tape going? Guess what? Joe doesn't want it when he does. He can all day long, but he doesn't want it. You figure out why he doesn't want it. And it's not because somebody threatened him.
No.
Why is it?
You didn't listen to my thing. I said you figure out why.
You said it was because of the wife and kids.
No, it's
you
because
didn't
of.
want anything.
Well, that's
It's
just.
It's not my calling, has it? It's not my calling.
That's
Don't
true.
want to, don't choose to.
His
my
calling
choice.
right now is
Don't
just to
care,
see
don't
what.
want
But
You've
you-
obviously had that baby after many of these things happened. I mean, God's given you the baby, so say, here, do this.
Probably. I stopped doing it before my baby. I stopped doing it before I got married.
That's what I mean.
But you've got a great passion for the environment, obviously.
Why?
Great. Because you keep talking about it with great passion.
You know, I like the environment to be there. I don't like concrete.
Exactly.
I don't
We're
like
going to make
cities.
that stuff out of hemp.
So you
I'm
do
not a
have,
hippie and I don't go in the bush and I
Yeah.
don't take drugs and I don't smoke all this shit or anything else, don't take anything like that. But I like to eat natural stuff, and if somebody goes out there and poisons the shit, I don't like that either.
You sound like a hippie.
No.
So, come on.
Nobody else in the city does
But
either.
you're talking
you know,
about
really.
something real.
Well, what do you want to do about it?
Uh-huh. What do you think something's got to be done about it?
No?
Something does have to be done about it,
No,
actually.
it doesn't. You can leave it the way it is if you like.
No.
Just you'll get sicker, your kids will get sicker. And
That's
they'll die,
right.
they'll
So
poison,
you
they
can't
get more
leave it the way it
diseases,
is.
and then the doctors will go and heal you and charge you. That's fine.
Doctors don't heal.
And of
They
course,
can't.
this is what Ash
We
is
don't
talking
use
about.
Teflon coating
Ultimately
for
what
skid
Ash is
marks.
talking about.
Well, I'm not a Robin
As
Hood.
you know, is
I'm not a Jesus Christ.
Ash here is.
No,
Skid marks don't cause
He's
accidents.
right.
We
No
don't
one
coat
can
the
do
roads
this
with
stuff on their
Teflon.
own. No one can do. No one should
Absolutely
have the
right.
responsibility to do it on their own. Everyone needs to consolidate into a more secure, public, accessible centre. And we've got Joe's given us everything here that we can, upon his permission, we can use to establish this area.
You
Right.
know the only thing you haven't got?
Joe.
You haven't got Joe.
But there's
Joe's a loner.
yes,
He doesn't need your establishment
yes,
or
I know.
you or
Yes,
anybody
I know,
else.
I know, Joe.
Right?
I know.
The only thing Joe has a need of, which he has no control over anyway, the fella comes freely, is the Lord comes to me through God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And the Holy Spirit teaches me all that I need to know.
Yeah.
And more than I even want to know.
Right.
And then people want that. And, mate, they don't realise it's all there. It's free head. The ice cream's not in your head.
I assume it's a matter of circulation of consciousness.
There's no circulation got anything to do with it. Now, every bit of your body is electrical frequencies. You took the freezer cold ice cream into your belly and you froze the end of the nerve, and then the nerve, the brain now is sending electricity from here all the way through your body in all different ways and shapes and forms. And resistance and conductivity, it's sending waves every different way to find out which hair is hair, which you can feel and sense and everything else. So you swallow the ice cream into your guts, but you grabbed your head with pain. There's no pain in your head. Ice cream's in your gut. What it did was freeze the end of the nerve. The nerve now cannot feel like your body and everything else. So the brain gets the pain because that's where the electricity is coming from. So it builds up great power pressure here. You understand?
Yeah.
So you hurt in the head until it builds up a warmth around that ice cream. The ice cream's still there and everything else, but it takes away that discharge. And then all the feeling comes back in your brain and goes, oh, but you never felt it here. What are ulcers? They go and cut them out there. Flipping ulcers don't come from there. They come from there.
Yeah.
The pain in your head didn't come from, there. It's flipping the ice cream in your belly.
Yeah, but young
We're
people
weird.
solution.
We're upside down. What have you got in that bag? You got a transformer in there, have you?
It's just a 12 volt 7 ampere hour battery, so it's sort of record for up to 10 hours straight.
It's a fancy camera, it's a DVD quality.
Okay, so here we are, just looking at a power transformer from before.
This is a TAFE lesson.
Yep. And basically we've got to find out which one's positive, which one's negative. Now normally
Multimeter.
we go by colour coding, or we can get a multimeter. Now what are we going to do here? We've got to...
I don't need one. I wouldn't know how to use one.
But you said you wanted one.
Oh,
No, that's what he needs to.
To check the electricity.
I know. That's AC, right? Straight
That's-
into that.
240 volts AC.
So that means that we don't have positive and negative, do we?
It's an active and a neutral.
Positive and negative. We don't have it, do we?
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
We don't have.
You know how to
by your.
Yep.
What's his name?
Andrew.
We don't have positive and negative there, do we?
No, it's an AC. Well, it's positive for one cycle, negative for the other.
If you stick the
You're
pole
confusing
tester,
all of us.
If you stick the pole tester in one of them, you'll find out that it's always one. It doesn't change. It's always on.
Do we have a positive and a negative?
There's a positive and a negative flow in that cable, yeah.
Every time before you said there wasn't. Okay, I'm going to take that and I'm going to put it into here.
Okay.
And out here comes no more flame and there is no more AC there now.
This
If I
is
put my
DC.
finger in here, it'll kill me.
Yeah.
I'll grab hold of them. Where'd me killing go?
The voltage has been transformed down.
Transformed down.
Yep.
Where did the other go?
Back at the next door.
You mean all my power just went into here, I hooked into here and I just sent back up that flame power wire, all my electricity to somebody else?
Because you haven't used it.
You haven't used it yet.
I want you to show me which is positive and which is negative on there now. I want an absolute proven test.
Oh, shit.
Don't look in your bag.
Colour coding, that would typically be a positive, negative, but I don't know.
You don't know how to check it?
Not without a multimeter.
No. Okay, well, see this here sparks.
Yep.
Okay, that sparks. Which way is it going?
The spark sort of went down as you struck that wire
Oh,
down.
we'll go that way. Well, you still can't tell which is positive and negative, can you?
No.
Okay. This DC here don't kick, does it?
No.
See, my AC is alternating, that's what they say, eh? My AC is able to kick and able to kill. My DC is don't kick, don't kill. See how I put the letters? Don't kick, don't kill.
Okay.
Now, I want you to put both your hands out and take that. Didn't feel anything, did you?
No.
No, why? It's DC?
Yeah.
Don't kick.
Mm.
Good,
Right.
don't kick. Don't kick, does it?
No.
Put on the same finger, don't kick, does it?
That's right.
No, doesn't kick. Hang on to it.
Okay.
Which hand?
Hang on. It don't kick, does it?
No.
No. Where you going? Where you going? It doesn't kick. You tell me so. Did it kick?
No.
Oh. Did it kick?
No.
Oh. Just hang on to it and come up with me. Did it kick?
No.
Did it kick?
No.
Did it kick?
Can feel it. I can
No,
feel
no,
a
no.
buzz.
Doesn't kick.
I can feel a little buzz
Okay.
on the nose.
Oh, okay. Cliffy. Okay. Does that kick?
No.
Does that kick?
No.
Oh, okay. Just come with me.
Oh.
Does that kick?
Well, that's a bit of a burn.
Did that kick?
Yeah, I can feel
Why
a
isn't
bit
it
of a
kick?
burning
It's the
effect.
same skin. The
It
skin's
is the
attached
same
to the
skin.
same place.
Yeah.
Good. Hang on to that.
Okay.
Come back here. Where you going? That kick? That kick? Come here. Stop going away, chicken. Did that kick?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Did that kick? Here, take that one again. Did that kick?
No.
Why not?
The polarity.
You didn't mention polarity before.
Positive and negative.
You know there's only a couple of places on your body that you can check this machine.
Wow.
So I can put this all over your body. Which one of them kicked you? You don't know now.
I don't know, because I didn't look at the wires.
You hang on to that.
Okay, so this is the one, this is just a plain black one.
Yeah, this one here you said's positive. Did that kick you?
Yeah.
That's negative. There's your science out the door.
I was only guessing that was a
Right.
positive.
You see this? That one there is negative, and this one here is positive. And that one didn't reach up. Why not?
It's different.
It's different. You know how that body just told me exactly which is negative and which is positive? Because the one might bit you there and everything else is negative, and the positive won't do that. I don't need a multimeter. And the reason-
I've definitely felt the buzz on my nose.
Did you? No, well, just for the present scene, we lined that up. Every part of. Did you know your eyes, your ears, your nose, and your mouth, and everything else are all connected?
They're the sensors.
They're all connected. So, they get you? They get you? Come here. They get you?
Yep.
They get you? They get you?
Yep.
They get you?
No.
Why not?
The resistor.
Why is it then?
Capacitance.
There is none. There's no capacitance.
I just shorted those wires
There's no
out.
capacity in here.
No, because I just gave a bit of a spark.
The thing is that the reason why it does it there and everything else is because that you have a positive coming out of your body at your cheeks and nowhere
Okay.
else on your body. That's why even, they even know that when you got wires and everything else in your house, they have red wire is always positive, black wire or green wire or brown wire is always something else. Okay?
Yep.
Then they change it in electrics and they give you brown wire positive and flipping blue wire positive, and sometimes they
Active
change
and
them around
neutral.
just to confuse you. But red and black means don't touch. She's positive kick in that power lead there. If you take two positives to each other, what do you get? Nothing.
Nothing.
That's right.
You take a negative to a positive, and what do you get?
Power.
You get a bite.
Yeah.
In one circumstance, that is. It's not in all circumstances. We both get bitten there. God told me that because that's what He built into the body, and any other skin anywhere else which is still attached and still on the same place, you don't feel a single thing. But that's how I can check any negatives. You understand? And that's a DC, isn't it?
That's a DC.
And DC's not supposed to kick. It's a flat line, so why to kick you? The reason it didn't kick you anywhere else is because just fine. Flatline DC don't kick.
Because there's a differential between what you're giving out and
You don't even know what that you're doing, the pulsing there.
the pulse is happening here.
Because
Right?
you positive and negative. Did you get bit pretty well? Just for you.
Yeah, I felt a buzz on the nose.
You're interested in this stuff and everything else, but
The only other time I
You
got...
just hit the spot there somewhere.
Did you know-
I could have told you this years ago. If I met you years ago, you could have saved me so many years of pain, man.
what he didn't tell you a second ago, you're going to see now, right? We've had people here who are 100% blind, and they walk out of this house seeing clear as a bell within minutes.
Really? What do you think I'm holding to this Bible, man?
Yeah. You're going to see what he never said. Okay, I'm not supposed to be teaching this, but it's been out there. Okay, what you're going to do is the same thing, but you're going to see something what he never told us that he's seen. He just went, ouch, sook. Okay? So, no, do this one first. Then. So I'll just prove the same thing on you. You don't feel anything, do you? No. You don't feel anything. Just come up a bit closer. Right? You don't feel anything? No. Right. There's nothing there. Okay? You don't get anything. Doesn't matter where
Which
I touch
one am I holding? The negative, this one?
Well, he said positive before because of striker, but he's wrong.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah, no,
So
we
you
saw
didn't feel anything. No, you take that one. Okay? And now we just go, no, you stay there. You know, feel? No? Don't feel anything. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see light.
White light.
Yeah.
Told you he would say. Told you what you see. White flash.
Oh, yeah.
White flash. White flash. Open your gob for a sec.
It's like a flash
Open
when you take it off.
Open your mouth. Get air in your mouth. Tell me you don't taste metallic.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
That is called ozone. I just generated ozone in your gob. And we can have it here on tape and everything else. People, just in seconds, people can sit here and they can open their mouth and all this white vapour comes out of their mouth. And they're pure ozone. Their mouth just turns into metallic.
That little power transformer is about 13.5 volts DC.
Sorry, this happens with 1 volt one too.
Yeah.
1 volt, 2 volts, 4 volts.
Okay.
It don't happen the way we're doing it with 6
Do you
or
want
12.
to experience the light? Did you notice the light?
I felt sort of sensed
You
it, yeah.
don't feel. It's
No,
a
you
see.
see it.
I've seen a bit of light when
you pull it away, there's a flash goes on.
Now,
yeah, I've seen a bit of light when I had my eyes shut and put it
put
near.
this into here. I'll show you something better. Put that between your fingers. Put that across there. Just wait a minute. Okay. You don't feel anything. Okay. That's exactly what it's done with either one of these or anything else like that, or a car battery and everything. And there isn't a single complaint in anybody's body, whether it's paralysation, whether it's foaming cancer, lupus, leukemias, severed nerves. Doctors even cut nerves and everything else, so you've got dead legs and everything. That there, just by that. Doesn't take very long, and everything's back.
You're lining your body's
You are putting everything back to the brain and sending this frequencies through all the cells and everything, and it remakes them, it redoes them, and it doesn't take any longer than 3 minutes.
by just plunging yourself into like
And
this.
you don't even feel it. Okay, so now
And
what we do is you can still hang on to that one if you like. Won't make any difference. Okay, so now you just watch the light this time.
No light.
No light?
Oh yes, no light.
A bit brighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit brighter.
Oh man, that was a kick and a half.
Both eyes. Yeah, you heard the crack?
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
doesn't fly.
yeah.
This doesn't do anything. Right? But what has happened is, well, we've charged up his optic nerve. Through his hands, the charge has gone into the brain and charged up the optic nerve, the power to your body. Okay? And
So it's sort of boosting up the power like
And
an
the flash of light.
amplifier.
when we make this bite you, we're not supposed to make a bite. This is a check on how much power that your body got. See, the flow of electricity isn't touching it onto you to make you bite. The flow of electricity and everything else is actually, you don't feel anything. And all this electricity and everything else flows right through every single cell in your body. When I attach this to your hands, every cell in your body is charged and possesses all that voltage because there's all liquid in there and everything. She transfers through every single thing.
I know what I'm doing, so I want my exactly to do.
Good on you.
You sure?
Yeah, but that's
Okay.
it's a wonderful
Okay,
Look
so
at Jasher.
Which one's the?
I mean, I can do that myself, I suppose. Yeah, come on, that's what be fun doing it myself.
I got that.
and that's the Latin ball game.
I can't feel anything there, huh?
Try the other one.
It's not
The other way around.
quite viable.
Yep, yep.
Still, it's interesting.
Cable is short.
I've been chasing for a year.
I can feel it, it's really...
Open your eyes and you see the light.
So it's actually
I can't see the light, but it's
This
really
one
biting.
Do that
me.
here.
or the other one?
I found it when you did it on top of my eye. I could see this flash.
Western form.
It's really hurts when it,
The Hebrew
No.
on right, left.
Oh, these,
And you hold
you
that
fill it
to
all in what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
it's
so you
absolutely
read all the
clear
extra
that-
books now. You've got yourself some
That's not-
fantastic gear, Cliff.
see, that's not biting there.
That's about the best translation.
So that's obviously the positive. I mean the negative.
That's
And that's the positive.
I didn't see the light.
Try it again.
Here.
Yeah, your eyes closed. Yeah, your eyes closed.
It doesn't matter if you've got your eyes closed or open.
Would
Because
you
it's
put
the
it on
optic
me then? That's the
nerve.
negative there.
Oh, is it the optic nerve? It's
It's
not
not
you.
your eyesight, it's the optic
put it on
nerve.
me,
You
that's
can
the
have your
eye.
eyes closed, blank as anything, or you can be blind to the bat so you can't see anything. pure flash. Okay, and if your eyesight's down, you get a yellow flash on one side and not much on the other when you go either. It tells you which eye's down a bit, which charge is down, and whatever else, and so on. So
And
then you go back to your hands and charge that up and everything else, and then it'll. Then you go back to it and bang.
and so it's sort of if you've
When you get brilliant white light in both eyes, your eyes are perfect. You don't need glasses, you don't need things like that.
yeah, because I got a white flash in mine.
Hello?
See this light.
You just saw what I had to do. I come on. If there's anything I can
I
do
saw
to
it then.
fix my eyes back to where it
It's
was
like
5 years
a
ago.
flash.
You look
Camera
at that
flash.
book there now,
Yeah.
what we've just done to you, and tell me.
So how do you
that
do it?
It's
It's sort
still
of
the same view that you had.
I saw it on this side.
That it's not enhanced.
so it's sort of just close
There
to
you
the
go.
eyes, is it?
I saw
I
it.
can't tell you because
There's
I
this
can't see
white
cracks
flash,
anymore.
like
It's
a
very dark.
camera's going off.
Wow.
If I put this on,
Do you want to try?
Okay.
Oh, come on, man. It's 30 volts.
And it's as such. To you, I'm going to tell you nothing. The reason being is because you have programmed your complete electrics and brain, everything else to accept what they told you and accept as you are. Well, why aren't you out of there? See, this is what the faith healers do. What the faith healer does, have you heard about them?
Yeah.
Okay, proper ones to God and everything else like that, with power and everything else, they just go to you and they, because you have a belief in them and such as such, they go to you and tell you to get up and rise and walk. And you don't doubt. And when they say that, you then will get up and walk and rise. But if you doubt and you feel like and you believe the inevitable, so-called, you don't move. You stay there. Understand? And all those
Gotcha.
things, if it doesn't happen, it can't go through. It can't do. You don't need to just process that because 13 volts is not. It'll happen with 1 volt, 4 volts, anything else.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any difference. It'll whack. Actually, the smaller the voltage, will whack you harder. And that doesn't make sense to you, but it does. See, I'm the stupidest thing and everything else because it only happened here not very long ago, only a couple of months ago and everything else. Out of all science and everything else as you know it, or all what you know about batteries, I was stupid enough. Nobody asked me first. I was stupid enough to go out there and grab a spark plug lead and profess with my mouth that this spark here will not blow that battery. Nobody else can do that. Nobody else is stupid enough to do it.
Try, because they're thinking it's going to blow up.
Right. But I knew.
I was going to ask you that outside when I say, how did you actually went and do this? Because you knew it could blow up. Obviously, you had some other information.
Yeah, that's right. No way.
I don't taste for it.
Do you know, usually people don't have a taste for the things what they really, really need.
Really?
You know the only difference I made to you to feel? It's called electrolyte. Okay, so all your skin, the outside of your skin is insulator.
Right.
And any cut or anywhere inside that skin is a conductor, direct. Right? On your tongue, this transformer here is, what, 13 volts?
13.5
13.5 in the power socket there, it is 240.
AC. Yep.
And out in front of the house is 66,000.
Yep.
I guarantee you, I hook this up to you in a certain spot, none of these work. I can give you 66,000 volts straight from the power socket outside because it is potentially 66,000 volts there. There is a connection from there direct through a wire to those power wires out there.
Yeah.
There's still potentially 66,000 volts there. And you can tap into them without any of that doing anything. Okay? And I won't kill you. That's the difference. The 66,000 out there will kill you.
Yeah.
So, here's the difference with what doesn't make sense.
Yep.
Can you take that one in your hand?
Spit on it again?
Yeah. You didn't even have to, but it doesn't matter. Okay? And, however you would like to do it, could you poke your tongue on that?
Sure.
What'd you get?
Yeah, pricking sensation.
Okay, now, could you do that?
Sure.
Sure.
Oh, vaguely, wasn't tickling.
So you got some feeling? Okay. Alright, so now, put your tongue, touch both.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Yeah.
That was, I saw the flash there.
Yeah. The difference is, and they didn't touch. He flashed. The difference is your insulation on your skin and everything else didn't let the flow conduct properly, because for you to feel it and sense it and everything, it's got to go in the brain. Your electrics in your brain, you're hindering them. You're stopping them from working.
Right.
But you've allowed some through for feeling,
Yeah.
but you're not letting them work the body.
Right.
Okay? That was a pretty good kick, eh?
Yeah.
That was definitely more than 13 volts, DC.
Is it?
Was it?
I don't know.
I jumped 10 feet, didn't I? Didn't you jump 10 feet?
How did it feel?
Do you want to just have a little try? It's not that bad.
Oh, good. What is it? What am I trying?
Just take one of those in one finger, okay? You're right. And just touch your tongue with that one. Don't touch the wire with his hand, but touch your tongue. Just one little touch. It's alright.
Oh.
Put it on.
It's not unpleasant, is it?
No, but I feel it here too.
Put it on.
Whoa.
Okay, now
Should be
swap over.
addictive.
Just doesn't matter, just swap over. Don't worry. No, you're still doing the same thing. Hang on to this one, touch it with that one.
What, didn't I do that already?
You hung on to that one.
Ah, right. Sorry.
You're doing the same thing.
It's no good for them, they play.
Same.
What is good for you,
Same.
you're not playing.
Kind of.
It's alright.
Sorry.
I like it.
You got a little bit more than 13 volts there, then, that's all.
Does it make a difference if you do it the other way around?
Not on your tongue. Not in a cut. On your hands and feet and arms and legs and everything else, you feel nothing. You put one on your skin, you put one in in a cut or insulation, you get a small charge. The potential of that.
Yeah.
You put two into a cut, you'll try that now.
The tongue on both.
Just touch
That's
the
a
tongue.
lot of... I'm gonna-
Stand back.
What does it do to me? Whoa!
Is that a little bit more than 13 volts?
I'd say so. Because it shrunk my tongue.
Any cut or anything else, there's a potential difference between everything else, so you get different. So there's their idea about what's flowing, amps, volts, potentials, and everything. It's bullshit. You understand? There's a difference occurring. You're only playing with the same things in everything.
I read once that there's so many people killed a year of people just putting those 9-volt batteries on their phone.
That can kill you.
Yep.
And the reason is because if you do it the wrong way with the conductivity, you haven't got 9 volts. No flaming way you got 9 volts. You can build yourself right up. Those little things there, touching you on the tongue and everything else, can be well into thousands of volts.
Well, isn't it a Tesla effect? Isn't that when you know how a circuit, you just open it or close a circuit? You've got that spike that occurs.
The spike has nothing to do with the potential in the unit. The spike is coming off at 90 degrees. It has nothing at all to do with the potential. Understand? So this fellow here told me that. How much voltage did you say was in that spark plug lead?
About 40,000.
About 40,000 volts in the spark plug lead, but there's only 12 volts coming through the positive and negative to the coil.
Yeah.
Where did he get the 40,000?
Because what happens is when it charges up the spark plug coil, builds up a magnetic field, and when you switch off, the magnetic field collapses into the secondary and gives you 40,000.
What a load of rubbish.
That's what the TAFE books teach anyway.
This here does not have a... Okay, what I want you to do is hang on to one lead, okay, grab the insulation of the other one. I'm going to pull this. This doesn't have a capacitor. It's a straight coil. As soon as I disconnect this, there's no power anywhere. touch your tongue. No,
Oh,
hang on to that. Touch your tongue.
Yeah, there's still stuff in it.
There's no capacitor.
So it doesn't hold a charge.
No, touch your tongue.
Still something in there. It is.
Yeah, I know. Touch both with the two wires. Touch your tongue.
Give me a second, man. I'm sweating here. Still.
Yeah, what's holding the charge? Where's the charge? There's no cap. So what's holding the charge?
He just discharged it.
I discharged it just then. Sorry.
Try that again.
Well, hang on, how do you know
No,
there's
it's
no
only
cap
going to
in
do it
there,
once.
Joe?
When you put it in your
I'll
tongue,
pull
it
these
goes
to pieces
slowly.
to
But if
find
you
out.
do that, that's a spark, and then.
I'll pull these to pieces to
But
find
what is it then? If there is no capacitor, something's acting like a capacitor.
You got copper wire. You got a coil.
Mhm.
You got plastic. See, a Volta battery cell and everything else is only two pieces of copper, piece of bag, and a bit of salt water. You supplied the salt water on your tongue.
Mm.
You understand? And the copper. Just those two there. Without that, cut that off. Just those two there, and your tongue is called a Volta battery cell. It produces electricity, but they don't want you to know that. So your tongue is electrolyte, salt, salty fluids, same as in your eyes and your cuts and everything else for healing and all that. And so on. So just those two bits of copper, two separate pieces of copper, and your tongue with the salt on it, produces electricity. It's not stored in there. It's a Volta battery cell. Go to the library and find out. They don't need any input. Don't need
So
charging.
what I'm feeling is my own electricity.
Yeah, you can charge these right up and everything else. You can boot yourself with your own electricity. You can create it and generate it and everything else, and you can't flatten yourself. And you can make more electricity than that damn thing there, and that power wire's out there, same as that damn thing there can too. Understand? The potato or the kiwi fruit or the lemon or citrus just has to have the right components at the right place, and it's God-given generation of electricity which is there, and any potential amount. So how many difference out of that one thing, how many different potentials of electricity do you think that you got? How many kinds? You had about, in boots from that, you got a hell of a lot more than 13 volts, eh?
I suppose.
In other times you got a hell of a lot less than 13 volts.
Yeah.
Okay. There's
Well,
ways and means of...
The only way that I remember how to compare it is actually with a 9-volt battery.
Yeah, see, if we go into a
That you
cut...
touch it, that's how you test it, mate.
On your body, which is the whole things, you hang on to it with your hands, you can't tell positive or negative because you can't feel. You can't tell the electricity. You go to your foot, your hand, your leg, anywhere else on your body and then go up to your eye, you're going to tell negative. And the other one don't kick. You go on your hand and go into your mouth. Both kick you. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Both kick you. Because it doesn't make any difference. That defies their thing because it's flowing both ways. It has no thing, you know. Then you touch both on your tongue, you'll get potential of firstly what's outside. I only done it to you because I know it won't kick you, won't kill you. Kicks, but it won't kill. Bert told you there's a lot of people out there who've been killed by that little tiny torch battery. How much does it hold? It's supposed to only be 9 volts. 9 volts not supposed to kill you. And those don't have any amperage flows. You can hook them up to a light and they run for a little while, but potentially they don't have much amp flow. You understand? But to kill a person is a massive discharge. But they don't seem to have that potential. So how long is it going to take for you to flatten that torch battery? If we had a light on it, how long would it take to flatten the battery? Because to turn the light on, you're using the amps. Potential is the volts they tell you, but how long is it for the amps? Well, it could all day, half the night.
Whatever.
Right? And what's really happening is you have that potential there, or you couldn't draw off it. Other than that, you only bleeding a little tiny bit off it. You know what I mean? So what's killed them and everything else is that when they touch, the potential of 1 day, 1 night to flatten that battery's flow of electricity just goes whack. Can't handle it. It shuts down your electrics in your body. How many volts do you think that your body's running on? How many volts? How many amps?
Couple of volts, I guess. 1, 2.
Volts or so.
The signalling would be pretty weak.
Well, you can meter it, you can check. But the thing is,
Probably, yeah.
Brain,
what happens if you go and whack on your, say, a couple of volts, if you say that, I'm not going to tell you exactly, but on your couple of volts, what happens if you go and whack on 9 volts? I'll give you an idea. What happens to a 6 volt battery if you go and plug a 12 volt battery onto it?
It charges up and tries to bring the 6 volts up to the 12 volts.
It doesn't bring the 12 volts down to the 6 volts.
No. It'll deplete the 12 volt battery eventually, but trying to bring the 6 volt up to the 12 volt, but the 6 volt's only designed.
How long does it take to charge the 12 volt, to transfer the 12 volts potential into the 6 volt? The flipping 12 volt, the 6 volt nearly boils straight away, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's being transferred instantly.
Depends on
more
how
than
much
you could transfer it any other way. So battery charge you can't put in there that fast.
Unless it's got a high current transformer or something, but the battery's not really
designed. Well, if you get a 6 volt
designed.
battery and you have a 12 volt flaming battery charger and you leave
You
it at
cook
12
it.
volts, of course it will.
Yeah.
Because you're putting double the amount into something less and it can't take it.
Yeah.
You understand?
That's it.
What happens if you use a 6 volt coil onto a 12 volt car? She'll start nearly straight away, but then she'll just run for a little tiny bit and then burp. The spark is phenomenal because of the 6 volt coil, but don't run on that voltage. It just increases the voltage phenomenal, but doesn't boil the coil straight away. Just increases the power, but the car won't run. Backfires, farts, plays up.
Huh.
Just the difference of potential.